If you guys like this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. My goal is to reach 100 subscribers, and I would greatly appreciate if you guys can hit that subscribe button. And also, I do have a few social medias you guys can go check me out on. I will leave the link to all of that in the description. But with that being said, let's get right to the video. So today, as I'm recording this, I'm not sure when you're going to be seeing this. Maybe the day after. I'm not sure. But the Phoenix Suns absolutely destroyed the Los Angeles Lakers, 115-85. And there's a lot to talk about, but that's not my main point of this video. But let's just talk about this. Chris Paul kind of scared everybody. I'm just gonna jump into the third quarter where he just kind of hurt his shoulder, and everything could have went wrong right there, because if you guys remember when he was with the Rockets and the Rockets almost beat the Warriors, and in game 5, I believe, they did have a 3-2 lead, which they did eventually blow. But Chris Paul got injured with a hamstring injury. And if he never got injured, potentially they could have beat the Warriors and they could have beat the Cavaliers in the finals. But of course he got injured, and then that's when they missed the 27 straight threes, if you guys remember that, in 2018. But he was still good in this game. Not Chris Paul worthy, or if you guys consider how many minutes he played, but he just scored a solid 9 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. And it's nothing big, but it's just, I have a lot of faith in this Suns team. That's what I mainly want to talk about, because Chris Paul, if he can stay healthy, this is the best shot I believe he has at making the finals. Because if we just look at his path, or he will potentially be taking, first off, he's going to be playing the winner of Nuggets Blazers, which so far the Blazers are down 2-3, so it's most likely might be the Nuggets. And I do believe the Suns match up well with them. But then let's say they make the Western Conference Finals, most likely they're going to have to face either Utah or the winner of Clippers Mavericks, most likely. And I believe Utah has the best chance there. I know the Clippers are probably the better team, but I'm not sure with the Clippers, because if they have a bad game, they're going to have a bad game. That's really the best way you can put it. But Chris Paul, even though, of course, he is aging, he is still being really productive. A player that he kind of reminds me of is Kyle Lowry. He's getting up there in age, but he still helped that Raptors team win the championship. And let's say they make it to the finals, most likely they're going to have to face the three of the Sixers, Bucks, and Nets. And can they beat? Okay, I'm sorry, Sixers fans, but most likely it's going to be between the Bucks and Nets. That's just how I feel, because they are matched up in the semi-Eastern Conference Finals now. So the Sixers only have to worry about one of the two. That's the best part of having the first seed this year, especially in the Eastern Conference, because if you're second or third, well, you're going to have to face off against one of the two other powerhouses, because it's really between those three teams, really. But the Suns really can match up with anybody you put them against, really. That's how I feel, because they have a good mix of defense and offense. Like, a perfect player I can describe to you with that is Jay Crowder. And Jay has been struggling in the playoffs so far, but the Suns are winning, so I'm not going to look too much into that. But if they win this matchup, this is going to be very interesting, because we all know how everybody's on LeBron about not making it, people don't consider him the greatest player of all time, especially if he doesn't make it past the first round. A lot of people are going to have a lot more ammo to use when talking about the greatest player of all time conversation. And with this Lakers team, it's pretty interesting, because I believed they were better. Keep in mind, they did win the championship last year, but they clearly got better, in my opinion, at least. But when they dropped down to the 7th seed because of a mixture of injuries, missing games, and other stuff, I did believe they can beat anybody as the 7th seed. And of course, they did get matched up with the Suns in the first round. And I imagine Suns fans were not too happy about that matchup because you finally have a great year. You add Chris Paul. You go from going 8-0 in the bubble to still missing the playoffs to being the 2nd seed, and you were having an amazing year to having to face the Lakers, because that's not a matchup anybody would want. But they come out, and now they're up 3-2 on them. And really, depending on how this series goes, is how Chris Paul is able to stay healthy, because, like I said before, he does have injury problems, or it seems like most of his injury problems comes in the playoffs. And it's just really sad to see, because I remember watching today's game after he went on the floor with that shoulder injury. I kind of just held my breath for a second. I was like, there's no way we're seeing this again. And the Suns fans were holding their breath, and it was really sad to see. But he did eventually get up, and he was okay. He did sit out for the remainder of the game, of course, because they just wanted to make sure he was fine. Plus, they were up by 30, so it doesn't make sense to keep him in the game. But yeah, this Suns team, I love this Suns team, honestly, in my opinion. It is a very young team, excluding Chris Paul, and they can go far in these playoffs. And as long as they make it past the Lakers, I don't see why they can't beat anybody in the playoffs. If you want to talk about series with the Nuggets, Blazers, Clippers, or maybe even Mavericks, I will listen to you, but it's just hard to say that this team is not a real contender. But I just want you guys to pay close attention to what this team does in the near future, because AD is also out, so they do have a real chance of beating this team. It is going to be really surprising, because I really did have the Lakers actually winning this series, but we will see what happens. But with that being said, that will be the end of today's video, and I would thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and just leave a comment. Lakers or Suns, that's really all I want to hear. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love every single one of you, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.